Hi everybody. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to do some automatic context 3D modeling generating using a plugin into 3ds Max called Maproom. In my previous tutorials I've shown you how to automatically generate 3D forms and generate 3D extrusions. However, those were all based on, I guess, random city blocks and random context, and some really blue sky thinking. That may not be entirely helpful if you're dealing with a real life situation and real life context. So at the end of the tutorial, you'll learn to create something that looks a bit like this, but without having to manually go in and draw each building envelope, manually extrude them, because you can all automate that process using Maproom. Now at the time of this tutorial, Maproom does require purchase from the web in order to gain access to its full features from this website here, from Class 9 House. So unfortunately this tutorial doesn't get into specifics as to how to purchase this and so forth, because I already have it. But basically this tutorial assumes that all users will have Maproom, the full version, installed into their 3ds Max. So that being said, let's get straight into it. I might just get rid of all of this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the software Maproom, which is just this icon up here. And just letting it open now. And essentially we get open. This is the main user interface of Maproom. What we want to do is select a new map preset. So I'll use an OpenStreetMap and satellite map preset. And what that will do is that will generate a number of new icons. Nothing too concerning here. It's just basically Maproom telling 3ds Max where to basically drop its information, basically telling Maproom where 000 is in terms of positioning. You'll see also then that the graphics user interface has also now created a new option. So I'm just going to click into that, and then this will go into the actual Maproom option itself. So there's two layers here that Maproom have created for us, but before that we need to tell Maproom exactly where we are by updating the map space. So basically click into map space and then click find location by name. I'm going to use a suburb in the southeastern suburbs of Victoria called Elwood, near the beach. Look up. Yep, that's the location I want. So just click Elwood and then click OK, and then I need to update the space. So what that does is it tells Maproom, and Maproom then tells 3ds Max that we're in Elwood. Once that's done, I'd like to just generate an underlay, an underbase, a little map just to confirm exactly that I've got the right location. So I'm going to then go into terrain. And probably very important is these areas around here, whereby we need to tell Maproom what the area in kilometers of information that we want to extract from Maproom will be. I'm going to start with something small, so maybe just a 3 kilometer by 3 kilometer square. This pixels will tell us how much resolution that we want the image to be. I just might make it a bit more clearer and make it 1500 pixels, and I'll click estimate zoom level just so that Maproom knows exactly how far it needs to zoom into OpenStreetMap. And then I'm going to click update map images. You'll see that on my 3ds Max it's beginning to import some information in, and then you'll see all of a sudden the blue box disappears. Not to worry, what this just means is that it has imported the map in, but because it's only 3 kilometers by 3 kilometers, it's actually quite a small map at the moment. but we can easily zoom in fairly easily. So I might just zoom in, I might click on that map, and I'm just going to click to zoom extents. Now it's a bit blurry, but that's okay. Nevertheless, you can see that it's Maproom has downloaded an extract out of OpenStreetMap for the suburb of Elwood, which is what I want. And you can also see that there's a lot of buildings already here as well that are in this context here. So once that's done, I'm gonna then go into OSM, go back into the Maproom graphics user interface. I'm then go into this OSM layer, and this layer is essentially where I'm going to be extracting all of the building information and so forth out of OpenStreetMap. So going into OpenStreetMap, again, I want to import an area of information that is consistent with the area of OpenStreetMap information that I've imported in. So in other words, the 3x3 is the same as the 3x3 from the map that we uploaded, that we downloaded from from Maproom. So I want to keep that the same. The layer, I want to download the building layers, and we don't need to worry too much about any of this. And then I'm just going to click draw and download and draw OSM data. Now it's important to note while we wait for this to occur, you'll see that Maproom is frantically drawing the building outlines for us, and there it is. So you can see that the buildings are actually all there. Whoop. Sorry, just lost my place there. That's you can see that the buildings are all have all actually been imported in. So basically, we don't have to do any tracing at all around the existing buildings because Maproom has already taken that out of OpenStreetMap for us. So at this point, you might want to export it as a DXF file into AutoCAD or Illustrator to create a quick figure ground or nollie map. That's something that you might want to do at this stage. But let's move on to the next stage, which is to make these things actually 3D. So once we've actually gotten these buildings in, what we then need to do is go back into the Maproom graphics user interface. We're still in obviously the OSM layer, but this time we're going to apply a style sheet to these buildings that you've drawn. So if you go and click the drop down arrow and you click the system OSM style sheet, there's no need to change any of this. And if you actually just click apply style sheet, you can begin to see that it begins to automatically extrude all of the buildings to their nominated height. And as you can see, just after a couple of seconds, and that's done. So you can begin to see how quickly we can generate an existing context purely by a few clicks of the button. And then obviously, we can begin to play around with this context, drop in new buildings as we see fit, without having to manually model up the existing context ourselves. I should point out that the reason why this automation can occur is because of the information that is available in OpenStreetMap. So Maproom extracts all of its information from OpenStreetMap. So basically, if you are starting up a new project and you want to know whether or not OpenStreetMap has any information on your area, so again, it's probably best to check OpenStreetMap first, just to make sure that you're not trying to import blank data in. So you can see that my area was Elwood that I from OpenStreetMap, and you can see on OpenStreetMap here that there's already a lot of information that's already placed into OpenStreetMap, most importantly the buildings. That is what is responsible for us being able to generate the existing context. So that's basically how you can generate a an existing context model fairly quickly without having to invest too much time and resources into manually building it up yourself. But remember, it does rely on the strength and the quality of information that is inside OpenStreetMap. Thanks, guys.